Hi, today we're going to build a weather app inside of Toddle in under 10 minutes. And this is the best video that you can watch if you just want to get started in building web applications inside of Toddle. It's going to be simple, it's going to be easy, and it's going to be fast. So let's get right started with that. So before we start building a weather application inside of Toddle, we need to build the UI. Now, we could go in the Toddle editor and build the UI ourselves, or we can use the new NoCode ProCode UI generator. Let's do that in this video. This is an infomercial kind of like thing. Advertisement. Okay, here you go. Let's go on nocodeprocode.com and let's go to the new, it's still in beta, so it gets better every day, the Toddle AI UI generator. So let's say modern weather widget. Let's generate a modern weather widget, and it uses a similar approach like bold.new is using, where it generates the UI for you based on a style system that I created. It's kind of like Reloom, but powered by AI. So you get always consistent, similar looking results every time. Look at that. And it looks beautiful. And, you got that UI system, but you don't have to build those things yourself. You just have the AI follow that system. It's heavily inspired by ChatCN UI. So I just simply copy this for Toddle, go into my Toddle project, and paste. And I got that widget one-to-one inside of Toddle. And now we're able, it even generates beautiful SVGs. Look at that. It uses current color. The color settings are all natively inherited. So like everything here, all those styling, right? All the styling inside of here, it's all flex, it's all that. It's all optimized for Toddle and completely stylable. So if you want to get access to that, go to nocodeprocode.com. I told you I'm adding great stuff on there every day. And you not just only get access to this cool tool that you have unlimited generations with, you get access to daily office hours, to over 150 hours of courses and educational materials. You get access to boilerplates, a whole component library, and this UI generator following my style system that is based on my experience in building a bunch of Toddle projects and making those videos, and kind of like it was created out of my own frustration, always having to rebuild stuff in Toddle and not having faster ways to come up with nice UIs for MVPs. But let's continue here. So I got that design fully natively in Toddle with all their styling and everything I need, right? It's all the way it should be. But now we want to make that data dynamic, which is super easy to do inside of here. So let's go outside of this canvas here and let's add a new API. And Toddle already has a weather API as a demo. So let's just click on here and we got the weather API. Here you go. So now we got the weather API in here. That location is completely off, by the way. Let's close that in here. So we just set up the weather API. We're making an API called to the Toddle weather API, and we just that's all we got to do, and it just looks up the IP address here. So we got some cool data here. We get the location, the region, and we get the weather, the temperature, and I do believe that is in Celsius, right? Okay. We get all those things. We get if it's clouds, and we get also some icons that may be interesting. And we got all those cool things. So now we can set those things up. So since we got the data here and we have auto fetch, means we have server-side rendering. We can also make sure that server-side rendering is on by making server-side fetching. This is very important. Server-side rendering is required so that you don't have that data pop up after the site was loaded. It's a better user experience and also better for SEO. So now in here, we got the degrees. So we'll go on the FX inside of here. And I need to copy the degrees thing. There you go. And I'll just go and get the data from the weather API. I go to data. I go to, I don't think no, it's not region. It's current. Yeah, it's temperature. Here you go. And then I do concatenate. And I'll add my degrees thing in here. Look at that. So concatenate means I'm putting two strings together. So I get the temperature. Look at that. So now we need to make this dynamic. I'll just simply click inside of here. Let's go on FX. I'll click on here. Go to the weather API. Go to data. Go to, I think it's under current, right? No. Let's go to current. Weather description. No. I think it's current weather, not icons, main clouds. Yeah, here you go. So we got that. That's cool. And I have no idea what that is, but maybe let's see if we can have something cool linked with here. Let's go to the weather API data, and we can go to current, and we can make fields like, oh, okay, here you go. And then we could go, for example, in here and maybe take this span here and also add that in here, and we'll call that real feel. Here you go. So this is how the weather feels like, and we could just move this up here. Actually, let's delete the SVG, and we got the real feel here. Then I can style this a little bit, can make it move, make it a little bit more. Here you go. So it's a little bit more visible. Here you go. And then I got this. We'll go on FX, and we could actually, that may be actually high or low or something, but we could make this, for example, location region. Yeah, we'll put the region in here, and we can just remove that. Maybe actually city. Let's go on FX here. Let's go on data, location, city. Here you go. So we got the city inside of here, right? We got the weather. And then with this SVG, it's a nice SVG, but I do think we may be better prepared here if we actually set this up as an image, because that API gives us an image. Let's add an image inside of here. Don't get scared. It's 3rem, 3rem. So we'll make that 3rem by 3rem. Here you go. We'll go to that image. We go on source. We'll set the source from the weather API, the data, and then I think we have it on current, right? We have weather, and then I go to icons, and let's see, medium. Yeah, that looks like a nice icon. Current. Maybe it's actually, we need to take the large one. We'll do current, weather, icons, large. There's not a difference, but here you go. So we got that icon. We can remove this one. And this is kind of like how we build a weather app. And the cool thing is the UI comes from our AI generator. So if I open this inside of here, oh, it's not working. Maybe I have the assumption that the weather API doesn't work server-side rendered. That could be. Because if I retry the API, interesting. Let's try not server-side rendering this. Yes. So it doesn't server-side render. This is just like a limitation on the API because it comes probably from the same server as Toddle. But you see, we get this full thing dynamic inside of here, right? If I open this website that I built in Toddle, I'll get the current weather. I'll see it's clear. I get the icon from the weather API. I see this is now, and I get, all those information, real feel, and I just got that populated from a UI component inside of here that was generated by AI, and I can build, different things. I can, for example, say auth form with social auth, and I can have the AI generate that for me, and I just copy paste and then make those things dynamic, super simple inside of Toddle. This is going to make your Toddle development process 50 times faster. It can help you build whole dashboards faster and way smoother. Look at that. And it uses the UI style system from ChatCN UI. So chat CN UI. It's trained based on this. Probably shouldn't say this on camera. I rebuilt all of those components and then trained them on my own ones. You know, here you go. And it uses Tailwind as a style reference. So I could just paste this in here and look at that. I got a whole, you know, I don't want social auth maybe. I can just delete that, customize this to my liking, and, you know, I'm ready for, you know, just adding those things in here. And it also adds empty classes that you could use to, you probably want to delete those, but you could also, it also adds empty classes that you could use, for example, if you want to build something like a checkbox, so it already has those classes prepared, those styles. Let me actually give you the example where this is relevant. Let's say custom styled blue checkbox. Here you go, custom styled blue checkbox. We'll generate this, and now let me show you actually how we can make a checkbox work inside of here, because now if I were to click on that checkbox, you see it's, is it custom styled? Yes, it looks custom styled. So I have my checkbox inside of here, right? Let's actually do custom styled checkbox. Maybe we can get something in a nicer UI, you know, following the chat CN UI that we kind of like inspire here. Let's actually say custom checkbox. Let's see. Because checkboxes are a little bit funky and this AI makes it easier for you to work with them. Okay, here you go. That's a nice checkbox. We'll copy that. We'll put the checkbox in here, right? And now we got the checkbox. Now it's not working, it's not checking because we need to add some logic inside of Toddle. Now we got this style here on this SVG that is kind of like the checkbox. So I think it's on this SVG. Let's look at those two styles here. This style is blue, this style is white. So we have this style inside of here that is the checked state. Now, we don't have a class on here that's checked, right? This is something where we have to add some logic inside of Toddle. We can also remove the helper classes that it adds to help us import those things properly inside of Toddle. But I create a class here, for example, checked, right? The AI automatically created the style for this class. I only go on edit, map it to the checked class, and then if I remove the checked class here, you see it's unchecked, right? So you see it already works beautifully here. So I got that checked class here, and I got the default and all that. Now I can also go in this label here and give it a gap of 0.5 rem. There you go, it's AI. Sometimes it's not 100%. We'll make a 2 rem gap here, remember me, right? And we now need to make that checkbox bound to a variable. So I would just create a variable here called checked, and default is false, checked. Here you go. And then I just go to this div here that has that style, checked, and I go to the class, I go to fx, and I make a checked equals true. That's false, so there's no checked class on here, right? So now I just simply need to go on this div here. This is kind of like updating the input, kind of like updating the checkbox here. It's actually on the checkbox. It works with a label. So I need to go on this input here, and what we need to do is this input here will need to be bound to the checked variable, but we need to make it a little bit different. So in here, I create an attribute of checked because checkbox don't have values attributes. So I create a checked attribute, and that will be bound to checked false, right? So when that variable will be checked true, we'll see that this will be checked, right? So I go checked false, I go in here, and then I go on the input that was generated all by AI. Think about this. We can also remove the helper classes. The helper classes are needed when we import this, so we cannot not generate those helper classes when we paste it in Toddle, because if we don't do that, it has issues importing all the styles that were generated by the AI. So this is kind of like a helper way. You can just remove them once you have it in Toddle, or keep them if you like. They don't break anything, but they're also not needed anymore after it was imported. We can go on events here, on input, and we go on input. on input, and on input, we'll go in here and we'll update the checked variable. We'll take event target and not value. We'll add a get filter here and get checked, the checked attribute. Here you go, because the input itself has also a checked attribute. So when I click on here, you see, we built a checkbox, and it's updating that variable appropriately. If I were to add an h1 inside of here and fx this and link this to the checked attribute, you see this is true, false, true, false, true, false, and it's fully responsive, right? I can even, click on that label here, and it's fully accessible and all that already set up, and it's ready to go. And you built this way faster with the help of AI, and you can do all those cool things with the new AI UI generator that is available for all NoCode Pro Code members, that helps you build UIs faster in Toddle. A lot of people ask me if I can make a UI kit. I don't believe that a UI kit is the right decision for, the way we work nowadays with technology. Everything is AI. A lot of things that we build are not landing pages. We build web apps. We build custom solutions for businesses, custom ideas, things that I've never done before. That's the beautiful thing about building web apps. But if you build things that I've never done before, it's hard to build a UI kit that kind of like thinks about all those things. I built a style system here, a system of development that is as flexible as the project you're working on. Whether you're building a weather app, whether you're building a nice checkbox. And by the way, the styles are fully customizable. You could go on this div here, or wrong div, kind of like and go to checked and say, no, actually, this needs to be black if it's checked. And then I want to remove this border here. And then, you can, maybe I shouldn't remove that border. Maybe, here you go, let's go to checked, and I go to checked here, and then maybe we need to make this black too. Here you go, and then I say, here you go, now I can update that style, and it works beautifully, right? So, this UIs, you can generate them way faster than you were to rebuild them, and they're custom to what you're building. It's not like you use a style system that has a form pre-built and you need to rebuild the whole form manually. You can go as crazy as you want, right? I could go to that generator and say AI prompt builder widget, right? Everything is AI. Every app has some sort of prompts in it, and you can have that AI build an AI prompt builder widget in the consistent styling, and you can copy and paste it inside of Toddle and then hook it up with your APIs. And okay, maybe that's not the best example here, but it does look nice. So you can also regenerate that until you get something that you like. Again, AI is not 100% accurate, but it gets a lot of the job pretty well done. So let's see what it does now. Here you go. That looks nicer. And then, you can always customize things, yourself. But that looks nice. Let's just copy that. But let's just generate this again. Maybe let's actually do modern AI prompt builder widget with HTML input using content editable div. Let's see. Maybe that's something that also is cool and gives us cool things to do. Let's see. Okay, I got my prompt in here and got my prompt builder. Maybe not the best example. Let's say modern AI prompt builder with text area and nice padding in the text area. That's why it is still in beta. But we'll improve the accuracy of the things it does. But that looks nice. Here you go. You got that text area, and you can make it work. And tag input and select for tone of voice. Select of tone of voice. Here you go. We'll generate this again and we'll see what it does. But this is the cool thing. Like, you can really experiment. I do like this. This is nice. I got my tags in here, right? I can change the tone of voice. Let's copy this for Toddle, right? Imagine how much time this saves you in just prompting those things rather than building them. And then, you got this in Toddle and you can customize it. You can restyle things. And, you can make it as custom as you are. And again, this is in beta, so it'll get better and even more accurate over time, right? But it is really good to build, simple things. For example, I could also say build a modern prompt builder form. Generally, when I say form, it performs a better HTML structure that's more usable, because at the end of the day, most of the things that you build for those AI inputs are forms, right? So then you get this kind of like form where you can select this. And how about we say modern, minimal, white AI prompt builder form. And, you can build cool stuff. The text area expands, so you can be as custom as you like. You can copy this for Toddle. And then, you got it in here. Pretty cool. So this kind of like helps you. Oh, that's actually way better. Took a little bit to have that come through. So if I go inside of Toddle here and paste that, look at that. I got that nicely in here. I can customize things. I can make this 25 rem. And then I can go in here. I can say, I want to remove this. I want to remove this. I want to change this, and all those things are fully functional inside of Toddle, right? So like, this is all usable UI, and you can do as much fine tuning with it as you like, and then I could, for example, say contact form, right? And I can generate a contact form inside of Toddle. So the possibilities of what you can build with this are endless. And if that's something that interests you, go to NoCodeProCode.com. And, this is kind of like how you get access to that. Make a little application video, and you'll be on the inside. You get access to way more exciting stuff. But one of the cool things that you get access to is also the way to build applications in Toddle way faster. And then, you just remove your classes if you don't need them, because it always, prepares things to be as dynamic as possible. So it kind of like creates pre-made styles for you, like we saw with the checkbox. But if you don't need them, if you just need a simple UI form, you can just simply delete them. Doesn't break anything. And then I'll be still prompt engineering a little bit more, because sometimes it doesn't add the appropriate gaps on things, but that's something that will be improved. Probably will fix that today. It did do it good though in here, but sometimes it has a bad day. But yeah, if you want to get access to those things, and it's getting better every day, and we'll have actually every time you generate something, it adds it like to a library where other people can copy those things as well that have access to it. So it's pretty cool. If you want to get access to that, join NoCodeProCode.com. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that. And I hope that you're going to build exciting stuff too. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that. And have a good one.